So as y'all know, I did end up making a video before going over if the initial Chase Squad update was a good idea in Motorfest, or maybe they probably should have went somewhere else with it. Now what's funny though is I have been playing the Chase Squad update a bit more, doing some of the missions in it, which we all do know is going to be the rivals in the game mode. I was also jumping into the main events, or I guess you could say the main playlist events, and trying some of those out on top of it. The thing is, when I am playing this though, I am thinking what this main Chase Squad update could have been, or at least maybe things they could have done differently with it to make it even better. Funny part is, I am going to be comparing this to one of my favorite racing games ever. That is also going to have a bunch of police chasing in it, and I would probably say it's not even a shocking comparison. Okay, so there's a few things I did want to really discuss about this, and with that, I'm also going to be doing one of the main rival events here with the Devil Cat to try this out a bit, and I also did want to compare this in a few of these compared to the other game, which if you guys are wondering at this point, is going to be Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2010. Now, the reason why I did want to compare these is I do feel like everybody has been playing this update, or I guess you could say probably at this point they used to, or at least they were playing this update. And you know what's funny is I also haven't been playing it, but the thing is though, when I was jumping back in, I'm like, okay, so this game mode is kind of dope, but they really did miss the mark in so many different areas. That was also one of the main reasons why I did actually make the video going over the part of it, to where I was like, you know, was this really a good idea, or maybe they could have did something different with it, maybe an entirely different update for that matter. The thing is, guys, I'm not saying it's going to be a terrible game mode, but I do feel like they really did miss the mark in a lot of areas. So we all do know with the main Chase Squad update, they are going to have the rivals, which is probably the biggest thing everybody's going to be doing. And my goodness, the police AI that are helping me literally do not know how to drive, man. They really don't. Can I get by you all here? I mean, no, it's a Fiat, but goodness, what is happening? But the thing is, though, a lot of players are most likely going to be playing this part of it for a few different reasons. We all do know the rivals is probably the biggest part of the Chase Squad update. Like, yes, we are going to have the events in the game, players can do them, but here's the problem. If you do want to actually jump into the main lovely events that this playlist does offer, most of them are probably going to be something nobody is going to want to mess with. The reason for this is also why I did want to talk about this with Hot Pursuit, is because people want to jump into something like a Chase update or something like this, which we all do know again, this is not the first Chase update we've had in a racing game like the Crew, for example. We do normally get these type of updates to be added in, maybe increase the gameplay a bit, you know, add on some diverse stuff to it that might be more variety based and different things. But the thing is though, when I was playing the Chase update, jumping into different missions, which I am going to show other footage of this in the background, and what's funny about this though is when I was playing the initial Chase events and all that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go back into Hot Pursuit. The thing on that game, I do understand it's going to be completely based on you know, you have to be a racer, you have police on you, you can also be a police officer if you want. So I am going to focus on that part because in Motorfest we obviously can't have the other way around to where you're a racer and the police chase you, but you have to be the police. So in that though, in that game you can obviously be running something like a police car of your choice, different classes, similar to this game, but there's going to be a different type of variety in that game compared to this one, which again I will be showing gameplay of Hot Pursuit and also mixing that into Motorfest as well. But the thing is, when you are playing Hot Pursuit, you are then going to have the main events, which is races, or at least they're going to be called Hot Pursuits. That is actually going to be the last event you did end up getting in the playlist. The thing is, guys, I did not understand why they did end up putting multiple ones in the playlist to where you would then have to follow the said racer, or I guess you could say the rival, for around 2 minutes and then finally wreck them. My biggest guess on that is to most likely make the events a tad longer than instead of jumping in there and having a legitimately type of interceptor thing, which we are going to have in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. The racers have more health, they basically drive everywhere, and then you have to wreck them. Now, I do understand that, yes, the rivals can be kind of like this in a way because they drive everywhere, you then have to wreck them. So yeah, it's pretty similar to the interceptor type. The thing is though, the final event in the entire playlist, guys, was the biggest thing that I wanted more of out of the entire Chase Squad. The reason for that is it's the closest thing you might end up getting to a race, even though in that you're pretty much going to be doing a time trial, then you spawn into a small town area and you have to go wreck 4 other racers. The way I kind of wish they would have had a few events in this though is similar to Hot Pursuit. They have a longer race, maybe give the cars a tad less health like they did in that game. That way you have to race against, let's say, maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 racers, even 5 or 6 or something. Maybe have like one other random chase squad like NPC with you or something to help. Similar to like what we do see with the rivals. You then jump into like the race and go, okay, I have to wreck all of them before the race is over. And then even then, maybe they can have like the entire difficulty slider to it to where you have to get it done within this time limit. Wreck this amount of racers to get this challenge done, or wreck only these cars or something. And you know, I did originally think they were going to do something like this, because when I was seeing the Chase Squad teaser, I was like, yo, we're finally going to have Hot Pursuit events. The thing is, though, in the final event in the playlist, though, you basically sit around a small area, drive around there, and just wreck the racers. All they do is stay there, and you just have to wreck them. It is kind of odd. Like, why did we not have at least one race where you chase them around like we did end up seeing in Hot Pursuit? Now, the thing is, I will be making a video about Hot Pursuit here soon, because even to this day, there's something so dang special about this Need for Speed game. And that was probably one of the biggest things for me, though. Like, I was going through the main events in the playlist and all that, and I was like, you know what, man? Let me go jump back onto Hot Pursuit. Now, I do understand the games are completely different, but this is also going to be a police update added into Motorfest, which again is not the first type of police update. We had one in the Crew 2, we had one in the Crew 1, so this is going to be something new, right? When I was playing the events in that playlist, I was like, you know, I really feel like these could have been so much better. The first thing I did, I was like, wait a second, let me go jump back onto Hot Pursuit. So I played that for a bit. I'm like, yo, the overall design of these races is legitimately so much better. Now, I do understand that the cars are going to have less health. You're going to have weapons. You have, like, the spike strips, the EMPs, and, like, the rain roadblocks and stuff like that. I do understand you're not going to be hitting EMPs in the crew or using some weird weapons, which we did end up having in the calling all units. There was some odd weapons in there. Funny thing is, they were pretty fun. Unfortunately, though, we can't really play it. I wonder why that is. But the thing is, though, in Motorfest, this was going to be the newest police addition to the Crew franchise. The biggest thing I'm asking myself, though, is was it truly that great? And could they have made this so much better? You know what? The answer is 100% yes. When I was playing Hot Pursuit, I'm like, you know, even being able to call in a roadblock, having a main Hot Pursuit type of race, at least 2 or 3 of them, they probably could have had maybe like 15 events in this playlist or something. I feel like would have been a lot better for this thing being around 30 bucks. Like, I do look at this and go, okay, there's a few, you know, time trials, which every game has those. I get it. There's going to be a navigation event, which again is a time trial technically. We're then also going to have the one where you chase the rival. Then the final event is my favorite. You race around an entire area again and wreck every racer. The thing is, though, why is there no main Hot Pursuit events? I mean, heck, you do not even have to have weapons in this for it to work. Yeah, they're probably going to help you. I would say the biggest thing, let us call in a roadblock, man. Put like 2 or 3 chase squad cars, like for example the Mustang or something. Put 2 of them there, maybe have some barriers. There's your roadblock. That would stop a few of the racers, make them lose a little bit of health. You then go down that said route and have to wreck them. Have the race be a good amount of length, that way you have time to do it. Like, I feel like, guys, everybody would be having so much fun if that was a thing. This did end up making me go right back into Hot Pursuit, doing the Hot Pursuit events. I was having so much fun on there doing them. You can wreck the racers in basically one hit on there. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it, but when I was thinking about that, I'm like, yo, yeah, the Interceptor racers on that game have more health, which the rivals have more health. Why don't they just give the cars a little bit more, less of health, that way you can wreck them a tad faster, but do a legit main event against them? Wouldn't that be pretty dope, man? I just feel like in some ways they did end up missing the mark in certain areas where they really could have went so much farther and made this update even better. The thing is, guys, I'm also going to say right now that's probably why the entire player count with these said playlists is going to be as low as it is. Now, I'm not saying they could have like completely copied Hot Pursuit or like Unbound or something. I do understand those games are kind of based around police, or at least Need for Speed is, to where the crew probably had to go through some loopholes to even get the chase squad in there, which is probably also why we have dogs versus cats and all that, and it's not like legit police. And that's also why you can't, you know, have them chase you when you're only the chase squad going after them. The thing is, though, why not have the racers, all the rivals in there, and actually go against them? I feel like something like that wouldn't have really been an issue if they would have added it, and I feel like players would have been so dang happy to see a mix of events in there. The biggest thing about the playlist, I did see many people mentioning it, is yeah, there's going to be a few events in there. Sure, they're probably going to be fun the first time you do it, but the thing is, though, when you jump back into Hot Pursuit, do some of the races, they're going to be so dang fun, so dang intense going after all of them. It's probably going to be hard to only do those events once, which is probably why Hot Pursuit was also so dang incredible. And that's probably going to come down to a few other factors, which I will touch on in an upcoming video. But overall though, do let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Would you guys also rather see like a hot pursuit type of approach to where we might have a few weapons, like for example a roadblock, which I really do feel like a roadblock is not that big of a deal. I do understand we're not going to be having helicopters dropping out spike strips, I get it. We're not going to be shooting the other racers with the EMPs, but at least being able to call a roadblock having a proper race in a hot pursuit type of setting would have been so dang dope. That was also something I was really hoping to see in the entire Chase Squad reveal. Unfortunately, though, we did not actually get a main type of race in there, which I will have to end up going back on to Hot Pursuit to have that type of feeling in those events, because being a cop in Hot Pursuit, guys, I feel like is so dang entertaining. But do let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Do you also agree that you wish they might have added a few more different types of events in the entire playlist, as again having like the Hot Pursuit ones, maybe different types of like the main interceptors and stuff like that, getting rid of the around 2-minute timer then taking down the rival? I am curious to know what y'all think about this, because the more that I play this, I'm like, you know, I feel like players might end up playing through all the events once and then easily forgetting about all of them. The most insane part to me is the rivals is easily the best part of the entire Chase Squad. Being able to go after them is the closest thing to like an interceptor type of gameplay, and I feel like that's what a lot of players do enjoy doing. Unfortunately, we're most likely never going to be the racer with the cop following us, but I do feel like adding a few different things into the set update would have been so much better. The thing is, will they do this in the future? Honestly, I'm not too sure about that.